Hi, everyone, and welcome to Open Your Eyes to the Universe. I'm Gabrielle Martin, your host for this evening. Open Your Eyes to the Universe is a series of contemporary talks and conversations, meditations, and interviews with people who inspire and uplift others by sharing their wisdom, their insights, and their experiences in order to co-create a better world. And as we begin in the spirit of reconciliation, the Universe team acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, to the sea, and community. And we pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island peoples here today. And I also love to acknowledge and respect the wise elder within us all and the collective wisdom of everyone here this evening. And tonight on Youniverse, we're discussing soft power with three daily practitioners of meditation, Helen, Ayako Ichimaru, and Isabelle Werkhoven. Now, we all probably know about hard power. It's very evident in our world. Hard power is a power that controls or dominates another, or on a larger scale, it colonizes nations or involves coercive means like military force or economic sanctions. And you're probably also familiar with the contrasting soft power as a concept in international relations that refers to the ability of a country to organize, or a country as well as an organization. It doesn't necessarily have to be a country, but it's that aspect of being able to shape the preferences, the opinions, and the behaviors of others through appeal and attraction rather than through hard power. Now, the term soft power was coined in the late 1980s, and the key essentials of soft power are often identified as cultural values. So cultural influence through films and music, sports, literature, and so on, which helps a country or an organization project its values globally and thereby enhance its appeal. Political values is also another key essential to soft power. So countries can increase their soft power by promoting values such as democracy or human rights and transparency. In foreign policies, soft power is expressed through international policies that promote, say, peace, for example, or development and environmental sustainability. And these things tend to build a country's reputation positively. And today, soft power is particularly relevant in global challenges that require international cooperation, such as climate change, global health, and for that matter, international security. But tonight, we're taking a refreshing look at soft power. We're moving away from the traditional understandings, and we're going to be exploring soft power, excuse me, within a spiritual context. So that is, as an inner power that lies within each of us. And this inner power enables us to manage our emotions, to realign our values, to empower our lives, and contribute to co-creating a better, a brighter future world. So here in a spiritual context, authentic soft power arises from a really deep sense of integrity. It requires an emotional intelligence and a pursuit of personal growth and collective harmony. So we're going to be discussing and exploring soft power as a non-violent power that has a hugely transformative capacity, both within the individual, but also on an outer global level. As mentioned, our speakers are all daily meditators and teachers of Raj Yoga meditation. So Helen, Ayako, and Isabelle, it's very lovely to have the three of you on Youniverse tonight. Helen, I think it's about 3 p.m. for you in Malaysia. Yes? So there's Helen. Great to see you, Helen. And it's your afternoon there in Malaysia too, isn't it?
It's in Malaysia. It's 3 p.m. now, and it's very,
Great.
very hot.
It's hot. We're having a good summer here too. And Ayako, you're in Japan at the moment, and I think it'll be the late afternoon for you too. Is that right?
Yes, it is 4 o'clock and it is cold.
It's cold. We're we're going to get international temperatures here. We've got Malaysia, Japan, and Sydney, or Australia rather, and now we're in the northern hemisphere, and we're with Isabelle. And Isabelle, you're in Belgium, and tell us, is it morning over there?
Yes, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and yesterday we had our first snow, so it's pretty cold here.
It's freezing, yeah. So summertime here in Australia, and winter for you, Isabelle. But look, thank you to the three of you for joining. It's in a very, very warm welcome virtually. And we often refer to this place in Australia as Down Under. So a very, very warm welcome to Down Under. It's lovely to have the three of you with us. So we're going to Belgium first. Isabelle's going to be our first speaker. So let me just tell you a little bit about Isabelle. As a young woman, Isabelle studied languages in Antwerp, Belgium, where she's currently based. And from a very young age, she was interested in religion and spirituality. And presently, she's part of the national coordinating team for the activities of the Brahma Kumaris in Belgium. Isabelle has a great interest in women's empowerment and is active in this space, attending significant conferences, including the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing, China. And it was during this 1995 conference, and I think some of you will remember this, that an agenda for women's empowerment was created, which is still considered the key global policy document on gender equality. And in Belgium, Isabelle continues her passion by contributing to working with women and coordinating many women's circles and women's retreats and so on throughout Europe. So Isabelle, perhaps you could open our conversation this evening by sharing with us, your understanding of soft power from a spiritual perspective.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle, for your introduction. If we look at the history of the world, then we can see that some leaders of the world have been using hard power to get what they wanted through force. And this was sometimes by starting wars for gaining territory and taking land by force. Colonization is also done with hard power. And so this whole energy of hard power is based on taking, is based on suppressing people, threatening, manipulating, and controlling people, creating fear and creating separation amongst people, mistrusting everyone, letting people feel unsafe in their own community. And we are seeing this still today in certain regimes and countries, that this is happening on a big scale. But also we can find hard power in companies and also small communities. In companies, they will be imposing orders, shouting, hurting people with words, and not respecting the people's boundaries, punishing people and making people feel guilty. And historians, they have rated the impact of hard power, and they found that these violent strategies, they do not work on the long run. Rather, more collaborative, non-violent, consensus-building strategies are much more successful. So this old model, we can call the hard power as the old model, the masculine energy. And what we are now seeing in the world is that there is a shift happening, a shift wherein there is this upcoming female energy, the soft power, being expressed in companies, in communities, and also on a bigger scale in the foreign policy. By seeing the importance of diplomacy, building consensus, respecting each other's idea, by by showing empathy. A very important quality is this showing of empathy. And if we look at what is exactly this soft power, it is not about taking power over anyone else, but it is in fact the ability of being able to influence people by your own charisma, by your own qualities, by your own spiritual gifts. And if we look at very old tribes in history, then we can see that the leaders of these tribes, that they had these qualities of creating collaboration and cooperation amongst each other. They were taking care of each other. They were respecting their people. They were including everyone. But if we think about this soft power, how did these leaders gain um, gain this power? How did they gain it? It was in fact they had to earn. They had to earn the respect of people. And to be able to earn the respect of people, they need to bring a lot of welfare to the people. And for that they needed to be able to listen, to connect. They had to take time to listen to everyone carefully, deep listening. These leaders, they had to treat everyone with respect. There was a very appreciative culture to appreciate everyone. And they knew the language of giving, giving without counting. And nowadays, managers in big companies, they are learning about the importance of soft power to increase the productivity in the company by showing kindness, gentleness, by appreciating their people, by being more empathic, by saying thank you, by taking time to really feel the needs of the people. And the result is very positive. The result is that there is an increase of productivity. So this soft power has a lot of good influence in society. So showing gratitude, generosity, all these qualities are all included in soft power. But there is only one big risk. And this is for power in general. And it is that those who are leading, they should be able to know how to handle power. Because often when they go into the consciousness of, I'm the boss, I'm on top of the world, then they become arrogant. And then automatically the dark side comes in. And all the abuse of power is happening. Like we also know in history, people who have the lead and are abusing their power, then automatically all the negative effects of hard power comes back in. So we have to watch, they have to watch themselves and to recognize the signs when the arrogance comes in, when they stop connecting, when they stop showing their empathy, when they stop the eye contact with people, then they know that slowly this hard power, all the attributes of the hard power come back in. So how to avoid that communities or leaders fall back into the hard power is they have to keep themselves sharp. They have to continue to show their gratitude, their appreciation, and the biggest condition to keep the soft power is to stay humble, to keep their humility. And so that is very important, to keep their humility, to be able to maintain their soft power. And if we look how could we sustain this soft power in the world, is by creating safe spaces for people to heal, because this safety is very important. Because even the people who are expressing hard power, they are in fact victims of trauma, and they need to be healed. So creating these safe spaces are very important for everyone to heal their inner wounds and to heal their own trauma. It is also important that we continue to have dialogues to realize the importance of this soft power. And many years ago, when I was in the headquarters of the Brahmakumaris, I saw a big sign, a big board. And I think this board is very appropriate for our topic of today. And on this board was written, "Speak less, speak softly, and speak sweetly." And I think this beautiful slogan is really connecting to this soft power. And my conclusion for today is that when we see the darkness of hard power, when it is still operating in the world and bringing so much sorrow, it is so important that we keep our sweet smile, that we keep our soft heart, and that we continue to be non-violent, and to see that not the world, let not the world make us hard, not to let the pain make us hate, and not to let the bitterness steal our sweetness. So thank you very much for listening.
It's lovely points in there, Isabelle, that you've come through with. It's a lovely way to start our conversation on soft power. And I was appreciating some of your comments, and you were giving quite making it quite clear to us around what soft power is. You know, it's that ability to listen, making it very, very practical for us. So things like being able to do deep listening, to connect with others, to take the time to really feel the needs of others. I think those were some of your key messages coming through beautifully there. I like the way that you were really checking in on terms of leadership, and because of course that's a very powerful form of power. But you were really, talking then about the kinds of qualities that leaders need to have, both in companies, but of course in terms of communities and countries as well. And that thing around creating safe spaces, the need to heal. But I really love the way that you were coming in with some really strong qualities clearly with us, so listening, deep listening, the empathy, the emotional intelligence, the kindness, and the key one about humility. It was a great list of the kind of qualities that underpin soft power. But of course, I couldn't help but wonder, if you don't have those qualities, how do you develop them?
How to develop them?
Mm.
I think they're all inside of us, and I think we can all I think that the first step is to start again the deep relationship with yourself, and to realize that in fact they are inside of you, but you have to reconnect again, and that everything is there, but we have forgotten it because we are not seeing it. So we think that we lost it, but deep down inside they are there. And once you practice it, you will also feel that, yes, it is something which I appreciate and which is inside of me, and which which I feel, which is giving me also so much happiness. So the fact that it gives you happiness, it means that it's also part of you.
And on that note, it would be lovely if you could take us into a meditation around discovering those inequalities and emerging the soft power within each one of us.
Yes, thank you. So let us just all relax and sit comfortably. Relax your body. And just have a deep breath in and out. Breathe out all the tensions. And just come into the present moment. I turn my attention within and I look at my thoughts and feelings. I let go of my inner labels and the masks I have about my role, about my name, my positions. I also let go of wanting to get something from people. And I just connect with my original personality of being a kind and soft person with a big and generous heart. I recognize that sacred, soft space within myself where there is peace and my soft power of love. Internally, I give myself a big smile for being the beautiful soul that I am. I appreciate my inner beauty and all the gifts that I carry within myself. And in these times of transformation from hard to softness, I recognize also the parts of myself which are still expressing the old heart energy. So I look at myself with a lot of compassion and I give myself the permission to finally letting go of that old, painful, and hard energy. I forgive myself for all the people I have been hurting. And I also ask for forgiveness to everyone I have been hurting in the past. Now I connect with my true nature of softness of kindness and love. And first of all, I love myself. And I send kindness and softness to that little child in myself who was often feeling excluded and alone. And I give myself a special hug of appreciation for the courage that I'm taking today to let go of this old part of myself. From now on, I will connect to the healed version of myself. I connect to my complete form, which is filled with softness and sweetness. And I'm here now to discover my own spiritual gifts. We are all brilliant, radiant, gifted beings. And my role in these times is to cultivate and express my gifts of compassion, generosity, and gratitude. But how do I keep my humility if my greatness awakens? When I become aware that when I use my gifts for humanity, that this gift is a gift from the divine. Humility can come when I realize that I am not the only one who has special gifts within me, but everyone is magical and full of gifts to share with humanity. My role is to connect with my soul, express my gifts, and knowing that these gifts are not mine. It is destined to be used for the upliftment of humanity. All I have to do is to let it flow. All I have to do is to use my gifts, and my destiny will unfold naturally. I will rediscover my own greatness and magic, as well as the magic in others. So, with humility, I will express these gifts with easiness, detachment, love, and a spirit of service. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Isabelle. What a deep meditation. I think you've introduced us very beautifully to an inside-out approach where we access our soft power and then bring that into our lives and our communities and into the world. And that was a beautiful journey that you took us on in terms of being able to access our soft power and then to give it as a gift. And keeping us safe, of course, from any arrogance about that gift, because this is something that all of us can do. And beautiful. Thank you very much. Lovely. So, speakers, our second speaker tonight is Ayako Ichimaru. And you will have seen Ayako holding her violin on our promotions for this episode of Youniverse. Ayako is an extremely gifted and accomplished violinist, and she's based in Japan, as you know. She's performed at special venues such as the White House in Washington, D.C., the United Nations in New York, and the Great Hall of People in Beijing. She's very charismatic with the way that she plays, and as a soloist, has taken herself to Europe, to Canada, to Japan, and Hong Kong, where she's played beautifully. In recent years, Ayako has added another dimension in her music, using her message of the peace and happiness within. So it's gorgeous, isn't it? And she's done this extensively by performing in India, in the USA, in Australia, in UK, in Hungary, Japan, China, Taiwan, Philippines, Malaysia, and of course, Hong Kong. I find that Ayako's music leaves a very deep impression, and it contains a lovely special vibration. And I think her audiences pick up on this as well. And in 2023, she collaborated with other musicians to create the album Awakening of the Peaceful Soul. Ayako, you've been meditating for many years now, and you've been playing the violin for even more years than that. So I'm sure that the way that you meditate's probably influenced your music, and perhaps there's a connection between that and soft power. I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about this, how soft power influences your music making.
Yes, thank you, Gabrielle. And thank you, Isabella, for beautiful, beautiful meditation. And just now, Gabrielle was asking, so how do we develop the soft power? So I would like to just share my inner journey from hard shell to be able to use the soft power. And so as Gabrielle was telling everyone that I have been playing the violin since 4 years old. And the life of the musician is not easy. Since 4 years old, it was been constant competition with myself and others. I was always very critical to myself because I always feel that I could be better and never enough. So I used to practice a lot, and I always check what is needed. And then my aim was to play perfect. And of course, it can never be perfect. And also it's never enough. How much you practice is never enough. And that's why it's always like I was in the very, very in the hard shell, and very narrowly that I was concentrating in my path. But somehow my career started, and then now from competition, and plus there was criticism. When I play in the concert, there is the profession called music critic.
Yeah.
We don't invite them. They will come. They will come and just write about your concert. And sometimes, they write good, but sometimes maybe not. And I got so scared of them. And we cannot not ask them to come. They will come, and that was another level of like putting the hard shell on my heart. And so after I started my career as soloist, and also I started to play in the orchestra, and it came to the point that I want to do something else. And when I moved to Hong Kong, I started the career to play as a soloist, but my own way, and also other genre like jazz and pops. And it opened up a lot because it really allows you to be yourself somehow. You don't have to be in one way of playing together with other people, or in particular way that the composer is like demanding was leading to be played. So I open up a little bit, but still it comes with like stage fright, and also it comes. Now another challenge was ego. Now you have to show the showmanship, and it comes, that now I'm showing, and I have to really show my worth. So it comes the ego, and that was the time that I came across with the Brahma Kumaris, and then start the journey of meditation. And it was the first time I really look at myself. I turn within and I look at myself, and I really saw really deep stone in my heart. And the more I start meditating, it start melting. It was quite amazing. It didn't come immediately, but it start melting away. And I start understanding that I am loving being, and happiness is within me and within others as well. And I don't have to look at any recognition from other people. As long as I recognize myself as the beauty of being, like peace, embodiment of peace, loving being, and happiness, embodiment of happiness, I am enough. I don't need other recognition. And I started to play as being, not doing, not playing. So I started to concentrate. When I perform, I concentrate on being, of the embodiment of whatever I want to express. So that was a big turning point. And I turned to myself, and I turned to the source, the divine source, that it's so loving and so accepting and full of the soft power, the treasure box of the soft power. And I can always draw any power, soft power, from this universe, this divine being. And that was what I do before I perform now. Before, I used to practice until the last minute. No, now I prepare myself, but before I play, I always meditate and then try to connect and then draw. And I become the instrument of that love, that soft power, using my instrument, which is violin, to really share that beautiful vibration. And I start doing that, and everything start to shift. My fear is gone, and the people's reaction, people's comment is so different. Before it was like, oh, you play perfect, you play fantastic, you play good. No, now it's amazing. The comment I often get now is, you're playing so sweet, and you're touching. And a lot of people cry. I don't know what is the touching that they are getting, but it must be from the divine or from me. And also they feel very content. And that kind of comment I never get before. So I understand, okay, it is not me, because that was not the quality I had. I used to have something must happen. Then I start realizing the importance of like drawing and become instrument myself to really share. And Isabelle was saying that you influence, soft power can influence people. Yes, you influence with that vibration, that music, that being. You can just be the embodiment, and you can just influence. You don't have to concentrate on doing or speaking or doing anything. So that was my inner journey, and it made me a big shift to my career, as well as my my personal, relationship. And it is so beautiful to learn about soft power and divine power. And I'm so grateful that I came in contact with Brahma Kumaris and start meditating. And I really wish that this can happen to a lot of people. Soft power is the key to the transformation to the world. So this is my sharing. Thank you.
Wow, Ayako, that's just brilliant, isn't it? I love the way that you took us through your journey of, from 4 years old, and then as you became an adult, and the way that you used to use your instrument, the violin, to now where you are at this moment, where you are being the instrument, using the violin, which is your instrument. Yes, just beautiful. And I was appreciating too the way that you were taking us into that orbit of connecting with the divine and drawing that power and bringing that into your music making. And I have heard you play live, and it's exquisite, I have to say. Yes, definitely a lot of feeling comes through in the way that you play your violin. I didn't hear you before you started to meditate. I've only heard you since you've been meditating, and it's a very rich experience indeed. And later tonight, we're going to be listening to one of Ayako's pieces as well, so you'll get to experience that for yourself. But Ayako, would you like to take us into a meditation around soft power?
Yes, thank you. I turn my consciousness within. I look at my heart. Is there any hard part remaining? Any past hurt? Any failure? Am I remembering? And those experiences is within my heart? I recognize it and I melt those hard heart with the light of love, acceptance. I am enough. I have everything. I just have to recognize all of these beautiful qualities within me. And I just put the spotlight on those qualities and imagine those beautiful vibrations spreading around me to this atmosphere, to the world. And those qualities I inherit from the divine being, so that I don't claim I have no ego. This is the gift that I get, and the gift that I can give to anyone in this world. I am the embodiment of the soft power. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayako. That was a very soft, gentle meditation, and I could really feel the soft power coming through. And once again, I love the way that you shine the light on the hard part and evoke the power of the divine, and with that light, remove that hardness and turn it into softness. Very beautiful. Thank you very much, Ayako.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
We have another treasure tonight, and that is our third speaker, Helen Ong. Helen is a retired advertising and marketing executive, and she's based in Malaysia. And throughout her career and her life, she has practiced and taught Raj Yoga meditation. In 2015, she was the recipient of the Shanti Dut Peace Ambassador Award from the World Peace Movement Trust from India in cooperation with the Penang Gandhi Peace Centre. Helen, I've heard you talk previously about soft power, and you've described it as an energy. Can you tell us more about this and its connection to perhaps a non-violent way of living, or how you use this energy in your own life, which is a lifestyle of calm and peace?
Thank you, Gabrielle, and thank you to my two friends who shared wonderfully about soft power. Yes, my own learning about soft power, when I first hear the word, image of a woman comes because of course, that softness, the gentleness of a woman. And my experience in my earlier times, when I was about 11 years old, I followed adult family members, and they went to see a palmist. And this palmist, well, looking at my hand, and he was saying that I have the male quality of courage. I was a bit confused, a bit why is describing is the male quality when I'm in the female. So into all this gender thing, I begin to observe in my life, and I feel people are so trapped in all this gender thing. If you're a male, you're supposed to be the stronger one, the wiser one, and and you can't cry. You're not supposed to cry. And I think all this is suppressing, the emotion. Is not doing anyone good, but people are like trapped in this kind of thinking, and it's and not able to be the true self. And women is like especially in Asia, they always feel that they are very secondary, the weaker sex and all these things. But when that kind of feminism came in, or feminist movement came in, but that was a bit still very aggressive. It doesn't have that that real pure quality. It's not about being aggressive and all that. So for my learning, I was happy to discover feminine energy and masculine energy, looking in this way, where it's not related to biological gender or stereotypes. And it's just the energy of balance of the two energies, like yin and yang, whether it's left brain or right brain. Right? It's we need the balance of two types of energy. It's like in the masculine, you look at the logical, the rational, the focus, the analytical part of it. in the feminine type of energy, you will look at creativity, being fluid, intuitive, empathetic, just the being, authentic. And I like that, being your true real self, to be authentic. There's nothing to hide behind anything. And this is what we've been hiding behind masks and roles and positions. And there's a fear and anxiety. I should be like this, I should be like that. It causes so much of a waste of energy. So just to be a true self, there's nothing to one up anybody at all. We are all same on this level. All right. So, and it's okay. All right. We're not talking about any kind of gender here at all. So this masculine, feminine energy. Now this pure energy. Now when the traditional meaning still now about soft power, there is still to look at the intention behind it. But I feel what I'm beginning to understand a bit more, that this soft power we should embrace is like there's no kind of selfish desire or motive, but it's a pure intention. It's an energy of, I feel, a pure energy with pure intention. It's an energy of love that seeks to work for the common good. It's the energy within the core of each one. If you could just be that and reach out to that core energy in each one. Now, this energy is nothing for showing. It's actually an energy of love that we all want to work together for a common good. It's very subtle. It's not apparent. It's unassuming. It's just be. So this is my own learning, and I like that, because I'm not identifying on any kind of a superficial, artificial level. I like to be in that true, authentic self, and nothing to pretend, and to be real. All right. So that's and when I get into that, it's a sense of true peace for the self. It's a sense of emerging my own divine power, actually. So this is that, if there's the power that I can mold myself to be a better person, it's a very important power. It's not easy to change. We all know it, But having learned and discovered this, who I am, my true self, and able to tap into a higher power, a divine power, this is that power that if I can change myself, it's a huge power. So because if I can do that, then this energy is like vibration, because vibrations are very subtle. It's a vibration that is that people can actually feel and touch, and it awakens that core energy of theirs also in that way. So this is my own discovery, and it's a journey for my own self. And day by day, I'm going within and being that. In any interactions, I'm trying to focus myself. And I find that being able to be in that state helps me to connect better, because I'm not looking at any of the external. I'm able to look into the real the energy of that person, and then catch the real feelings, catching that the true message was coming out. So this is of course, it's removing a lot of layers. We have so many layers, that we have to remove. It's really because this we have been so conditioned from young, conditioned in this like hard layer that is preventing us actually. And I don't know why we're all trapped, this hard layer that we are hiding and so afraid. So this is something that we actually have to crack it. It's so hard, like a coconut. We need to crack it open, and and no need, and just enjoy being ourselves. That's all. Just enjoy that, because I find that people are just living their life, in such like being in prison, in jail, but because of ignorance, I mean, we all get trapped. We were trapped, due to our ignorance, we all trapped and we all suffer unnecessarily. But this is the thing of getting break free, to not to be afraid, because as it is, just like hardness, coconut shell is very hard. When you break in, actually, people are always afraid because they feel so vulnerable, But there's a you see, softness is not just being soft. Actually, it is the power that is, you may feel soft, but actually it's very powerful. It's the powerful energy that can melt the hardness, melt the aggressiveness. It melts because that soft power within, which is actually filled with that divinity. Because as our Isabelle mentioned also, it needs the humility. Yeah, because it's all this divine energy that is actually a much higher power. It's very subtle, but it's a much higher power. And as we embody that, it's like we are able to vibrate out naturally. It's a natural thing. Just vibrate out. And this energy is very subtle. It can melt the hardness, melt the fakeness, and melt all that. So when we are able to then be true to ourselves, and then we be true in our interaction with others, then it's then that energy that we can use to build something better. An energy that we all want to create something better, something nicer. We all want that peace and happiness. And yes, it's I think question came out was, how do you do that? How do you develop? Well, as each of us, so we have been on this journey of practicing a meditation. But this meditation is, for me, I've been studying this for the last 42 years. And definitely it has helped me a lot, because it helped me. First, we have to know. We need the knowledge. And with the knowledge, I'm able to help myself to focus in the right way, to know what is really true, and the directions that if I can follow, it helps me to really break all this hardness, break away. And then step by step is to emerge all that power that is within. So now when we are looking in the present world situation, what is that soft power? What is that power? It's not just the traditional understanding, you know, of being able to influence, to appeal, to attract, but it is something that that is pure energy. It's a pure energy that's got pure intention. It's also, you know, it mixed with that divine energy that can do so much. It's a power that we can remove whatever the negativity. So it has the power to reach out, to reach out to all and say, hey, it's okay. You know, we are all here. We are all the same. We all want the same things. We all want each one. We want to have a better atmosphere, you know, and you know, no need to be better and overpower anybody because we are all in the same boat. We all want the same things. So this has been some of my, you know, discovery for myself, to emerge soft power or the energy of that love and be my authentic self.
That's lovely. That's very deep indeed. Thank you for that sharing. I'm really picking up the points you're making around the difference between external soft power, traditional soft power, which is about appealing and attracting and influencing, but inner authentic soft power is set on pure intention. So the outcome is necessarily very different. And I love the way that you're talking about it as allowing you to be your authentic self, your real self, and the beauty of that experience too. Yeah, some gorgeous points. And I think if there's one key word that I picked up was melt. You know, the power of soft power to melt. Power is often used as force, but this inner soft power has the capacity to melt away the hardness. Yeah. So it's a very powerful form of power, soft power. Mm. Would you like to take us into a meditation on soft power, Helen? That would be lovely if you would.
Okay, thank you. All right. So let's just relax yourself. Go within. Just be a point of energy. Powerful point of energy. Waves and waves of just pure energy emanating from the self. The rays of this pure energy reaching out into the atmosphere. Energy of love, of compassion, of kindness, of acceptance. Energy that embraces each one. Energy that takes away, that melts any hardness. melts away any form of hatred, dislike. This powerful energy that is deep within each one. It has the power to create a wonderful new world. And each time I see another being, I focus, I see that being, seeing that core energy, the beauty of that being, the wonder of that being. And be able to transmit and embrace and feel the atmosphere with love. And as we interact, seeing only the good intention of each one. Accepting each one. Able to uplift each one. In this way, let us use our energy, the true, pure energy that each one possess and have abundance of, that we just need to tap into and emerge this abundant, pure energy. And this is the power we need to use. This is a new soft power we need to use to create the world we wish to have.
Thank you, Helen. It's an inspiring meditation, to be able to visualize the world that we want to have and to know that one of the essential tools to create that world is soft power. Yeah, beautiful. There's a question that's come in that I'd like to put to the three of you, and you can chip in as you wish in terms of answering it. We are often taught that God is punishing, but you've all talked about God as love. So is God's power soft power? How can I access it? How can I connect? I'm wondering which one of you would like to take that one up.
I definitely think that the God's power is soft power, and punishing part is that we feel it's punished, but God is never punish anyone. It's just our concept of punishing. It's just a natural, whatever happening, bad is happening, like my case, like, the difficult part, like competition and criticism and stuff, those are no punishment. It's just the consequences of what, the world is and what I do. So it's never connected to God. And as long as we know how to connect to God, it is not difficult to draw that soft power from him. So the meditation to me, as Helen said, it was really the turning point of my transformation, the shifting from hard to soft power. Thank you.
Thanks, Ayako. Would Helen or Isabelle, would you like to add to that around how to access the power of God, the divine, and how you connect with that one?
Okay. Well, even from young, I never would have imagined that God punishes and all that, No. I always like this statements from the Bible that says, look at the lilies in the field, the birds in the air, they don't worry. Human beings worry only, they don't worry. So, I always felt God is protecting no matter where you are, what you do, he's always there to protect. And this has been my experience through my own journey. He's always, looking after, and so it's natural for me. It's like very natural, just like you talk to anybody, even though you can't see him, doesn't matter. It's your heart to heart talking, chit chat. So it's a real communication for me, my own experience. So just talk to him from your thoughts, from your heart. He's there to listen, and we don't need to physically see, but we feel it. That's my experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Helen. That was great. Here's another question that's come in. It says that they say when I change, the world changes. Is this the way that soft power works? So it's a common expression. It's when I change, the world changes. And this person's asking, is this the way that soft power works? I guess they're asking about the transformative capacity of soft power.
Yes, I also believe that when I become an example of soft power, then it can inspire other people by seeing the benefits of it. And I think a very important model are the parents, how parents are such important examples for the children. If the parents can teach the children how to behave in a soft way towards each other, not by punishing the children, but by really um, by gentleness and by softness, that if their relationship with the children, if they teach that to the children, then it can continue in other generations. So definitely, yes, it has to start, I think, in the families to then spread out into the world.
Thanks, Isabelle. A question coming in again is, how does soft power help me to manage my emotions?
I think, yeah, it's a very important question what you ask, because sometimes if we are meeting people who come and who are harsh to us, then we sometimes feel triggered that and something maybe, but I have to understand for myself what is happening in myself, that still that part which is hard in myself is being triggered, which needs healing inside. And so I will try to connect with the other person with softness by understanding that that other person is still in a weak position, has still no understanding of his own truth. And so then I can show my compassion and not to react in the same way with hardness.
Helen, do you want to add to that?
I was also looking at the the traditional understanding of soft power, and I would like to see soft power now in a more purified version. It needs a more purified version that when we talk about soft power, because it needs that that pure intention. And it's as I was saying earlier, because we have this power, this energy is fluid, but it's very powerful. Yes, it's enables us to actually, as I use the term also, melting away. And then when it's also like purified energy, now anything purer, it has a more effective. So that is why we can, when we begin to then change, when I change the world in a way of, it's an inspiration. That inspirational energy can reach out also. Then also it inspires people that they feel that also they can also do it, they can be touched and they have the power that they can do it also. So that kind of energy to reach out and to inspire that it can be done. It's not impossible. Yeah. So that aspect came in.
Thanks, Helen. This is a question around instrument, being an instrument, and it's probably, I think, Ayako, you mentioned it, and it's asking what is actually instrument consciousness?
To me, it's that you don't claim that your speciality or your beauty is mine. Once you claim, it's associated with ego or other things. But once you think it is given as a gift, and you can, because you didn't pay for it, it's just given, you can generously share with others. And it is very beautiful when you can do that. You don't just keep it yourself, but once you take it, once you're given something, then you just share that. You feel very, very comfortable. If you keep it, it's not healthy. And so you, as a being instrument, you use it, you just share it, then this just generates beautifully. And that is my experience.
Thank you, Ayako. Helen or Isabelle, would you like to add to that?
Yes. When I'm feeling, when I want to be the instrument, then it is so important that I'm not in the way. It means that I can be, I have to, in fact, to tune in to like that communication or that relationship. And then also like it is almost like teamwork, that you feel together what is needed in the moment, and that you let that energy do the work, that you don't come in between. And so, but it needs like a lot of fine tuning. It needs like you need to come on that same wavelength, as that pure energy. And so it needs a lot of humility. It needs that soul consciousness, which is the condition. The first condition to be an instrument is to become aware of your own spiritual reality and to come on that same frequency of the divine. To be able to let the energy flow through you and not to intervene, not try to fix anything, just to trust the process and just to allow it to happen, and not to come in between with your own ego, but just stay very quiet and let it happen through you.
Thank you. Thanks, Isabelle.
Yeah.
Helen, you want to say
Yeah.
something, please?
Yeah, that's great. That's nice. My experience as an instrument, and I like this to be instrument consciousness, is like, I don't have to think too much, actually. It's like, why I need to crack my head too much when I'm just being an instrument and let the divine, do it, So that connection, when we learn to do that connection and just be there, for the divine to use. And he knows better. And I have many experiences that catch what is to be done, because that would be the best. And he knows better than us, So that is to be not using my own thinking too much. It's not about that. It's like catch those inspirations, those touching thoughts, and that would be move on it, So I find that I had quite a few experiences, and it's really so wonderful. Like we had to move the house and all that, and we don't know where we were looking in the wrong place. It's not the right thing, but somehow everything falls into place. The right thing, the right time, whatever it is, comes there. So we just leave, but be sure to keep the instrument clean, so to speak, so that, as Isabelle says, then we get able to catch it, and then just let the work be done. We don't have to do all the work. That's an experience. Thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you. And I think Ayako talked about it as being rather than doing. Yeah. We're close to closing out. I wondered if each of you have any last comment you'd like to make, or a concluding thought on, the spiritual soft power that you'd like to share with us before we close out. Any comments that you'd particularly like to make?
I would just say, just be.
Beautiful.
Just crack the coconut.
I think that's becoming quite a good metaphor for this episode of Universe on Soft Power. Crack the coconut. Ayako, you're shaking your head. Is there something you'd like to say?
Melt your heart.
Oh, there we go. Another beautiful expression that's come through tonight. Thank you very much, Helen, Ayako, and Isabelle. It's been an absolute pleasure listening to you, and I'm just loving the way that you've taken up this aspect of soft power and brought to it your personal experience of it. It's made it very, very rich and also very real. So it's a big thanks to you, and I do appreciate the way that soft power, that inner spiritual soft power, is the new power. And each one of you have spoken about how that is the power that brings in a better, a more positive world, future world, and it's heralded in by pure intention. So a lovely conversation, and please accept our thanks and our blessings to each one of you for sharing your insights and your personal experiences on soft power. And also I want to say thank you for living soft power. this practice of meditation has really enriched your life. And I could feel that as you were speaking, the way that you've been on the journey of reconnecting with your soft power and bringing it into your living, and what a rich experience that gives to everyone around you too. So thank you very much for your spiritual endeavors, and also thank you for joining us on Youniverse tonight. So I'm hoping we're going to get to see you just before we close out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ayako.
Thank you very
And
much
yeah,
for being able to take part in this unique panel. Thank you very much.
yes, thank you, Gabriel and team, for this wonderful session, Universe.
Yeah. So it's just been a real treat to have Helen Ong and Ayako Ichimaru and Isabelle Werkhoven sharing their insights on soft power, and that's what you've been listening to this evening. It's an inner soft power that that really redefines our understanding of influence, because it stems from pure intention, has a tremendous capacity to melt, as they've been saying, and it's showing that real change begins within. So it's an inside-out approach. It's not about exerting control over others, but it's about transforming ourselves in ways that that inspire and uplift. So in this spiritual sense, authentic soft power really does invite us to live with intention, pure intention, and it allows our inner strength to ripple outwards to shape a world that really values peace, that values humility, that values understanding, that values unity. All of this over conflict, and this spiritual inner power is the way forward. So, viewers, you might like to browse our online bookshop, Eternity Inc., which has a full online range of books on self-empowerment. You'll find a lot there about soft power, and how to access your soft power. And as always, the books, the CDs, whatever it is at not-for-profit prices. So do check them out. And with Christmas coming up, you'll find some really lovely treasures there that you'd probably enjoy giving to someone else. And if you'd like to subscribe to Open Your Eyes to the Universe to receive monthly updates, then please email us at special.events@au.brahmakumaris.org. Now, in terms of our next episode of Youniverse, well, it'll be in early 2025. We'll be back with you then. So this is the last episode for 2024. We'll keep you posted about our new date. And as promised, as we close out tonight, we'll be playing a piece of music composed by Ayako, and it's titled In His Heart. You'll be able to listen to it and you'll be able to feel it. So until we see you again in the new year, may you contribute your soft power to illuminate a path of peaceful, conscious living, and thereby co-create together a better, a brighter future world. Take care and walk lightly on this earth. Om Shanti.